This is an exercise program completed on today's date.
It's the 14th. No,
The 14th of February. So basically we're going to start with the warm-ups. We're going to do some leg sweep. So we need to... Hello Chakradev. So let me just demonstrate first. So to do a leg swing, what we're going to do is grab something to mount ourselves, lean forward a little bit onto the left leg if you're going to swing the right leg first, and swing left to right. Trying to stabilize yourself with your arm and your leg, and just do 1 minute of this, like in total. So you can do like this direction, and then stop the leg. So if you would like to
just pretend I don't know how to do it.
So try and grab the floor a bit better with this leg and try to fix that knee in place, because we want to try to stabilize this side. All the movement should be happening in this hip right here. Very nice. This is what's called an active warm-up. So we're basically priming the body for blood flow and activation. So now you can do the other direction, back and forth. Next warm-up, we're going to do some arm circles. So just, arm circles are pretty simple. You just stick your arms out like a T-pose, and then all you do is create a little circle with your hands, and try to keep your arms straight while you do it, and create bigger circles, and then you can change the direction after 30 seconds to a minute. Just warming up all the rotator cuff and shoulder muscles. So, Jack, can you demonstrate that for us, please? So, yeah. Nice. Very nice form.
Thank you. You need to go faster or slower?
Go a little bit slower at start, because it's still each muscle. And then you can change the pace after. Don't think about it too much. Just a warm up. Getting the body nice and warm, basically. That's all we're doing. Do you reckon I need to film the resistance bike?
Maybe for 2 seconds.
Yeah, we'll do a quick one of that. So next, we're going to go over to the resistance bike just to get the lower body warm, get the knee. For the resistance bike, we want to make sure that the height of the chair is at the right height, so that the angle for the leg is not too, like, at the bottom position, you're not fully locking out. You're not also fully, like, at a 90-degree angle. We want to keep that kind of like this, basically. This is pretty good. So, if you want to demonstrate the form for us. Very nice.
What about the resistance in this?
Now we want the resistance. We don't want the resistance to be too high to where it fatigues him. We just want the resistance to be enough. So explain how to actually, what muscles are being used. So when he's extending, he's using his quads, and when he's coming back up, he's using his hamstrings. Just thinking about that helps with the muscle or mind-muscle connection. Alrighty. That should do. Stand back. So we're gonna start with squats, and we're gonna be using a kettlebell or dumbbell for it. We're just gonna use kettlebells. Grab a light-ish kettlebell, 10 kilos. It should be good enough. And hold it at your chest with both arms like this. Grab a stance, shoulder width slightly wider than shoulder width, toes pointed out. And then just squat with an upright body. And pause at the bottom. And try and feel all the muscles being used. You really want to control this.
You want to face the camera like side?
You can go side on.
Side.
Yeah, side on.
Do you want me to do it a little bit wrong so you can say something?
This one. So as you see here, Chakrav is not keeping an upright torso. So we want to try to hold that torso position as upright as we can. That's why we have the kettlebell in the front-loaded position to help counterbalance. So Chakrav, if you can try to keep the chest up a little bit more while squatting down. There you go, that's a lot better. Very nice. Yes. Making sure to brace the core. Sorry, am I allowed to touch you?
Yeah, yes.
I have permission. So make sure you brace the core, make sure those abs are engaged as you're squatting. And making sure that you're squeezing the floor the whole time with your feet. So we're going to be doing 8 repetitions for 3 sets. And we're gonna minimize the rest time here, so just go when you're ready. Make sure you drink plenty of water in between sets, or as you need it. I'm gonna move on to the next. So next we're gonna be doing some walking lunge. Alright. So we're just going to go along the sled track now.
Okay, body weight.
We'll start with body weight just because, you know, we wanna ease into the program. So we wanna give us plenty of time to kind of progress. So we'll start body weight. Oh yeah, I need to demonstrate first, sorry. So walking lunge is pretty simple. All we're doing is taking a big step out. Not too big of a step, not too small of a step. Just a decent size where when you lunge down, keeping the toes planted on this foot, coming down, straight down. 90-degree angle, almost 90-degree angle. And then finish with your leg through into the next lunge. So, just see that. Yep. Very nice. So we can see Chakrav is taking a small pause in between lunges, which is fine. That helps with balancing and control. And we're just going to be doing 12 reps each leg. So that should equal to about one of these sled tracks. Very nice. All right. Let's get another angle of this. Very nice. All right, we can move on to the next one. Now, we need 2 types of push-ups. You can start on your knees if you're not as strong, or you can go on your feet. Good enough. Start with your hands slightly wide of the shoulder width, around face level. Brace your core, so keep your ribs tucked. Flex your abs so that your lower back is straight, and flex your glutes the whole time. Come down, and then finish with your scapula protractor. Push up. Okay. You see Chakrav starting here with his feet out because he's strong enough, and he's finishing pushing his scapula through. Pretty good. He has extremely good form for some reason. Now off to some seated rows. Some seated rows now, just on the machine. Just gonna show, just gonna demonstrate it. Yeah, so just, the handle does not matter too much, just whatever you're comfortable with, just to start. start, try to keep your back straight at the start. You let your scapula come forward a little bit, but the main thing you need to think about is leading with the elbows. So you want to, don't try to use your hands to pull it. You don't want it to be a bicep movement. You want it to be a back movement, so we lead with the elbows, letting the scapula come forward, and then pulling the scapula back at the same time, while squeezing, pull back. Shit. So. I don't even know what to say. Looks pretty good. So you see, he's letting the scapula come forward, and then he's pulling it back at the end. And he's leading with the elbows. The elbows are coming back. All right. Off to some shoulder press. So with the shoulder presses, we want to start around ear level, where the handles are, and kind of close-ish grip. So maybe around here. Use your legs to incline yourself and bring that chest up. So you're extending through the thoracic, and then just press, keeping the elbows in line. Finish all the way through. Push your head through at the top. Yeah. See it? So we can see that we can see how the elbows are coming kind of back a little bit. That means that we even need to start a little bit higher. So before you continue, can we just adjust? So start around here and try to keep those elbows in front the whole time. There you go. So this way we're putting less pressure on the shoulder joint itself and more pressure on these big meaty triceps, which are very important in a press. Very nice. So that's that. Burpees, but not the jumping variation because we want to keep it low impact, and we'll take our time. So nothing too crazy. So I'll just demonstrate. So the burpee that I want done is just get down, push your feet back, do a push up, feet back up, and stand up. And that's 1 rep. Okay. So Chakra will now demonstrate. Back, push up, back up, stand up. So even though this movement has a little bit of impact on the joints, this is a very healthy movement because in everyday life we get up, we need to stand up. And it's just a push up, which we did earlier. And if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can always do this variation with knees on the floor for the push-up. Just demonstrate. There you go. Okay. Next. Get medicine ball side-to-side twists. So this is grab a 5-kilo medicine ball or anything as light as that. We're going to sit on the floor with our legs up, core braced, so ribs down, And all we're gonna do is touch side to side. We're trying to keep everything in line. Just rotating through the torso. Very nice.
Maybe say that you can also put your feet on the foot.
So if that's too hard, you can start with feet on the floor and just perform the same movement. Okay, so lastly we're going to perform some crunches. So just a very basic drill. All we're doing here is contracting the abdominals. All we're doing is shortening this muscle. So you can start with your feet on the floor, come back, and we don't want to come all the way up because it's not a sit up. All we're doing is shortening the muscles. So take a deep breath in, breathe out as you contract. You're trying to bring your rib cage towards your pelvis. All right. So, very nice. So he's taking a breathe. He's breathing out as he comes down, and he's breathing in as he comes down, and he's breathing out as he comes up, contracting the abdominals, bringing this closer. Yeah, very nice. All right. So that commences the workout, and now we're gonna do a few cool downs. So just a few stretches here. So we want to start with just a lunge stretch. So a lunge stretch is what it sounds like. You get into a lunge position, knee on the floor, and in this position what we want to try to do is we're trying to squeeze the glute, bringing the hip forward, and bracing the core. So not arching too much with the lower back, keeping that neutral, and trying to squeeze that glute as hard as you can. Oh, that sucks. Do that for about 1 minute on each leg. All right. So, as you can see, he's got a decent amount of mobility through here, but we want to make sure he's squeezing that glute. So, squeeze. I've got permission to touch him, so it's okay. So he's squeezing, flexing as hard as he can, and you don't have to hold it for the whole 1 minute. You can pulse for 10 seconds, or squeeze as hard as you can and release. But I want around 1 minute in total worth of stretches. So. Each leg. So next we're going to do just an arm stretch. So we'll come over to this hole here. So just a basic pec stretch. Grab the pole and try to rotate the whole torso and lean into that stretch, finding that tight area and just really just trying to like, what you want to be trying to do is trying to create a force against the pole. So we're actively flexing the pec while we're stretching it. And you can change the angle, grab higher or grab lower. It is hard, So, see, he's leaning away from the pole, trying to rotate his torso, and then he's flexing into it. So he's really trying to create some pressure here. Stretching it out. And then he can grab higher or grab lower or whatever. Just finding the tight areas and just tensing in that position. Very nice. All right. Again, just around 1 minute in total worth of stretching there. Grab yourself a band, like so. And the floor, wrap it around your toe, like upper, the balls of your feet. Go back, pull it up. Keep a slight bend. You don't have to be completely straight. And just pull that leg back until you feel a stretch. You can keep pointing your toes up. And what you can do here is it's called flossing. It's active release. Okay, and then you can pull it up higher, and then you can even push it down and stretch around. Just dropping knowledge.
They're gonna be like, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, this guy knows his shit. Alright. Yes. So as you can see, he's we're keeping that slight bend, but we're trying to bring up the whole leg up. Now, you can bend your leg a little bit more and then bring it up even higher to stretch a little part of the lower hamstring, or the upper hamstring, I mean. And then in this position, we can even point the toes and do that flossing technique. And as we slowly progress, we can try to straighten the leg out a bit more and more while keeping it back. And you can continue doing the flossing thing. So, perfect.
Mobility sucks.
Maybe you should be doing both.
Yeah.
But you know what's good? If we do this, basically most of my warm-ups and cool-downs are all the same. So so I only have to film it once to really do it. So we'll do a full thing. Let's do that. Alright. So next we're going to be performing a shoulder stretch. So we're going to need a stick for this. Basically, put the stick behind your back. One arm over your head, one arm low. Try to reach and grab as close as possible. Then all we're doing here is pulling up with the other arm, stretching this shoulder, and then pulling down with the other arm, stretching this tricep. In this position, we want to stay braced the whole time. We don't want to be extending like that, so try to keep it braced. And just move around. Hold the stretch for like a couple of seconds and then move to the other one. And then do the other arm. And your back. As far as you can. Yep. Now, pulling down and pulling up. So I'm just going to do a 360 view. So try to keep this elbow up high as you can. And try to rotate it inwards, so while keeping it up high. So here we're stretching the front delt here. And if we want to We can actually do a lot of things with the stick for a shoulder stretch. If you just wanna. So, if we want, we can add in an extra one, which is just a simple, you grab it as close as you can, and just rotate out. So, a little bit further away from me. Just rotate, like so. So that's another good stretch you can do. So in this, we want to try to keep our arms straight the whole time. So, and we want to challenge ourselves, so maybe bring your hands a bit closer. There you go. Not too close where we're going to hurt your shoulder, but just close enough to where you feel a stretch. Nice. That's it. That's it. That's the first one done. Done.